Welcome to the April update. I am going to try to be a little more brief this time. It's a lot of the same situations that we were dealing with last month, just some small updates. There's not a lot of bright spots, but I think it's important for us to know what's going on in the world around us. So we'll start in Iran. The US blockade, it seems like a terrible idea to me. Really terrible. I believe that their desired outcome is that the blockade will cause China to step in and make Iran behave themselves and go back to business as usual. The issue with this as a functioning strategy is that China does not want to help the US. China does not want to help Donald Trump. And so I don't believe that desired outcome that the US is looking for is going to be achieved. On the other end of that, it causes even more trouble with this oil disruption in the global supply that we have. 10, 12 ships a day, that's terrible. 0 ships a day is worse. These ships are super slow. They go like a top speed of 18 miles an hour. So like as fast as you can ride your bicycle. It takes them 3 to 5 weeks to get to their end destination for the Strait of Hormuz, in the case of China, at least. And so it's still a huge oil supply disruption. We're seeing fluctuations in the price because the headlines are telling us that, or the Trump administration in headlines is saying, oh, the war is almost over. This is going to be causing resolutions. It's fantastic. But even if today they got what they wanted, it's 3 to 4 weeks of still no oil in these countries that has to be dealt with. That's not nothing. That creates problems, that causes a rise in prices. If we think about other news, there was a tweet from one of the leaders in Iran where he had said, I hope you're enjoying your $4 to $5 gas because very soon it's going to be a distant and fond memory. And he's not wrong, because the prices are going to go up. They're going to go up significantly because we still have this huge supply problem. That's also causing more inflation. So we're not going to be able to see rates come down anytime soon because inflation has gone up pretty substantially over the last month. So overall CPI is up almost 1%, 0.87% February to March. And we do have a lag of about a month before we have data, guys. But the increase in energy was up over 10%. So obviously that makes up a lot of the inflation and overall inflation. But that's too much on the consumer, on our standard of living. We're going to feel pressure for that, and it's going to last a long time until these things normalize. And again, based on how slowly the ships move, it's going to be a long time before we see normalization. It's rough. We also, in the last time, since we last spoke, did have the stock markets, so most of the indices, NASDAQ and S&P 500, both fell into correction territory, which means, the newsletter tells you it's like that dip of 10%. That is not great. It's normal, but it certainly shows that there's pressure on the stock market right now, pressure on the economy to continue growing. And a lot of flags or markers that show that we're headed toward a recession. That's not a guarantee. That's not to say that it will absolutely 1,000% happen, but there's a small path, a small window to correct that. And the kinds of things that are happening right now, policy-wise, are not aligned with avoiding a recession. So let's know that that's possible and take that information and do whatever's, right for our situation, given those circumstances. And if we need to talk more about it, you can always reach out.